Hello, everybody. Welcome to Oasis. Hope you're having a beautiful day, enjoying all these games that are going on. I'm Jeremy, otherwise known as Darth Entreri. I'll be Kane, your storyteller today. I have a very talented cast that I am totally ecstatic that I was able to get assembled. Um, but it's enough about me. It's not about me. It's about this game we're playing. So I'm going to start off and have Devin go ahead and introduce herself and tell us a little bit, and then we'll move on.
Hi, I'm Devin. Lady Merowiff is my handle, and I'll be playing Aramanus a Toreador today in Savannah by Night.
Shanky.
I am Shanky McStabber from McStabber Studios, and I'm playing my very first Ventru ever, Killian Roche.
Raylin.
Hi, everybody. I'm Relyn Dare, Shanky's wife, also from McStabber Studios, and I am playing Dr. Ada Johnson today, a Hakata, native of Savannah.
Dominique.
Hi, everybody. My name is Joe, better known as Dominique Moreau on Twitter. My handle is Nolofanger. I am playing Marvello, Clan Malkavian.
And Sam.
Hi, everybody. I'm Samantha McLarty, and I will be playing the fabulous La Sombra, Lydia Thorne. And my handle on Twitter is Jess S. McLarty.
All right, so we're going to be playing Vampire the Masquerade. There are various editions, but the majority of us play 5th edition. It's the newest edition. I like the older editions, but 5th just kind of made me realize that they hit on the things that a lot of the older editions were missing. Because in older editions, you could kind of cheat when you were hungry as a vampire, because as long as you had blood points to spend, you were fine. You just had to feed eventually. In this system, you roll a rouse check at the beginning of every game, and if you pass, your hunger doesn't go up. But if you fail, you get hungrier. And as you get hungrier as a vampire, there's an inner being within you known as the beast. And as you get hungrier, the beast tries to take control of you. The game tonight is being based in Savannah, Georgia. I'm from Savannah, Georgia. I figured I would pick somewhere that I was fairly knowledgeable about, though as I did some research, I realized it's changed a lot. It's meant to be fun. You won't see a lot of the normal aspects of Vampire because it's normally a mature content, but this is for a fun game. Shanky doesn't ever get to play because he's a storyteller. So I definitely wanted to have him on so that he could actually play a vampire. So with that being said, thank you for joining us. Continue to join for the rest of the day. There's another World of Darkness stream later tonight. I don't know what edition, but check it out and compare the two editions and see what you think. And with that, we're going to dive right in and tell a vampire story. During the day, the people of Savannah go about their lives, working and carrying out everyday menial tasks. Unknown to them, when the sun goes down, something stirs from its slumber and begins to walk the city. As our story begins, the camera moves to the corner of Abercorn and West Congress Street, to a 3-story cream-colored building known as the Lucas Theater. And as the camera continues to pan, you see the marquee, and on the marquee it says, "Now playing Hamilton." The camera continues to pan in through the main doorway to a group of 6 people standing by the stairwell, conversing. And you see a rather tall, pale male with long, greasy black hair in a leather jacket, leather pants, holding a cane, and wearing sunglasses. As he looks over the group, he introduces himself. To some of you, Miss Thorne, Aramanus, and Miss Johnson, you already know me as Navarre the Cur, the Prince's Sheriff. I would like to formally introduce myself to you, Mr. Quillen, and to you, Marvello. Both of your reputations precede you. You may wonder why you've been called here. Miss Thorne, Miss Johnson, Aramanus, You know why you're here. Your probationary period is over, Miss Thorne, and the prince will speak on that. Marvello and Mr. Quillen, the prince wished to speak with you because it is customary that you present yourself to him, but he may want to talk to you both about some business ventures. He's with someone right now, and as he's finishing, you all notice an individual start walking down the stairs. You see a rather 6 foot tall male in a nice business suit with kind of messy, long black hair to his shoulders. He has piercing blue eyes. And as he comes down, he kind of looks at each of you. And he looks to Navarre. Navarre says, Mr. Black, it was good to see you again. I pray that everything went well. Black doesn't say anything. He just nods. He takes a moment and he looks at Lydia. And then the rest of you, and exits. He's not normally that talkative. I apologize if him staring was an inconvenience or made any of you uncomfortable. If you'll follow me, Prince Lonnon will see you now. And he'll lead you up the stairway. As you go up the stairs, you enter into a large balcony overseen, and Hamilton is actually being performed for just Prince Lonnon. There's no one else in this building. It's just the 7 of you, plus the prince. Navarre walks over, whispers something into the prince's ears, nods, and goes and stands by the door. The prince gets up, and he walks over. He looks at each of you. Miss Thorne, I will speak with you in private in a moment. Mr. Quillen, Fiorenza speaks highly of you. She said that it would do me good to have you in my city to run some fights.
She
we have
is
one simple
always
rule.
so generous.
Yes, thank you. We have but one rule. Don't betray the clan.
That's never a question.
Marvello, I've heard so many wonderful things about you. It is a pleasure to actually have you in my city. I hope that you...
Thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to see that you are well.
And Prince Lonnon, as he's standing there, Lydia, Aromanus, and Ada, roll me a perception check. Or excuse me, I'm so used to playing D&D. Gotta break that down. Roll me a wits plus awareness check.
Wits awareness. Let's do it. Okay.
Storyteller,
Yes.
I like to activate awe while this is going on.
Okay. Four?
I got
3?
Lydia?
I got 3.
Okay.
One was a critical.
Okay. Aromanus? Aromanus, how many did you get?
3.
3?
Can you hear me?
Okay. With 3 successes, you both, or all of you, realize that normally, as the prince talks to you, his eyes are normally kind of a caramel kind of brown. He has golden eyes.
Interesting.
I know you're probably all wondering why I have you here. Miss Thorne, your probationary period has ended. You have given me no reason not to allow you admittance into my city as Camarilla. Please do not make me regret making this decision.
Of course not. I wouldn't dream of it.
We have a dire situation here in Savannah. It seems to me that just when things were getting settled and we were starting to bolster our number of kindred, we started having a rash, consistent disappearance of some of the younger kindred. Navarre and the other kindred of the city are far busy dealing with the Second Inquisition, so I can't spare my normal kindred for such a task. I would like to ask each and every one of you to investigate these disappearances. Find out what information you can. Should you find that the task becomes more difficult and beyond, say, your pay grade, then come back to me and I will assist you with further assets. I can give you the names of the kindred and their sires. You can visit their sires and perhaps try to connect the dots.
I'm not much of an investigator, but Fiorenza did ask me to do any small favors that need done while I'm in town as a sign of respect, of course. So, count me in.
Thank you, Mr. Quillian.
This sounds incredibly fascinating. Did they just go missing for no reason, or were they just off gallivanting? Could you explain more about that, please?
That is what we do not know. That is what I need you to look into.
I see.
We know not but just names. Nothing else.
It's been so sporadic and difficult to get any information from anyone. You can talk to the sires and get information from them, and perhaps they can give you something that links the 5 kindred. Actually, it's 4, I'm sorry, as I look at my notes. The only connection I know is that they were a coterie. And when an entire coterie goes missing, it could be Sabat, it could be the SI, it could be Guru. They could have just left the city and not said anything. But with Navarre and his men pressed to slow the spread of the Inquisition and them finding us, I need people I can turn to trust. Kindred that I can put my faith in and know that they won't betray me.
Prince Lennon, now, I understand why you would summon, especially one like myself, into this. Is there any reports of where they were last seen or last known to be?
That I have, or that Navarre has? No. But,
okay.
As you well know, the Primogen Council has been bickering back and forth on how to handle the Second Inquisition. Therefore, because I'm overseeing it and trying to rapidly get this dissolved and dealt with, they have a bit of hostility toward their prince.
That should be corrected.
It will be in time. But you also know you've been in the city long enough. I prefer to solve problems with words and resort to violence or punishment as need be.
It's one of the things I respect about you, Prince. Now, you have a list of the sires for us to visit?
I do. I will start off with a list of the kindred that have gone missing.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Glenn Turner, a Toreador. His sire is Christopher Hu, H-U. Mr. Hu runs Custom Hustle, a tattoo shop on 348 Martin Luther King Drive. Next, we have Blake Johnson. He's a gangrel. His sire is Cassiopeia, no last name, but she's a graffiti artist, but she's generally found hanging out at Oatland Island at the wildlife refuge. Next, we have Jamie Michelson. He's a Tremere. His sire runs the Cosmic Corner at 305 East 38th Street. And lastly, we have Alex Thompson. He's of Clan Brugia. His sire is Blaine Locke and can be found looking over the people of Yamakra Village. It is a what the mortals call a low-income housing, but I'd like to talk with you, Mr. Quillian, about maybe some investing and developing that area to help people get out of the poverty and to strive and learn and do, be able to do more and not be held down.
Well, I have no issue with that. Unfortunately, a lot of my resources are currently tied up a bit with the MMA promoting I'm doing, but I can put in a word to Fiorenza, or perhaps some of the other Ventru of Chicago, to make sure we can get appropriate funding down.
That would be much appreciated. Let's see.
Your Grace, if I may.
Yes, Sir Romanus.
Who was it reported the coterie missing? Was it their sires or somebody else?
The sires generally of my city, once you sire, you are responsible for your child, as it should be.
Of course.
To teach them the customs, our traditions, how not to break the masquerade, how to hide from humans. These kindred were fairly young and new, so they were still in that probationary period like Miss Thorne was. A lot shorter than Miss Thorne's, but for different reasons. They have not shown up for their last 3 meetings or lessons.
I see.
So it has been weeks since they've been seen.
I see. I thank you, Your Grace.
You're welcome.
And who is the Tremere sire? You did not give a name.
That is Lars Stevens.
Lars.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there a chantry here, Your Grace?
He's actually run out of his store. We're not large enough to have a large chantry like Chicago or some of your other large cities.
I see.
But I'm as accommodating as a friend can be.
And that is a good thing. That's a good thing.
Quillian and Marvello, would you both give me a wits and awareness?
Sure.
But of course. I should have this one memorized because I know how often it's used.
Are we starting with 1 blood or no blood right now?
At 1 hunger.
Okay, cool. So wits and awareness?
Yes.
Oof.
3.
4.
4?
4.
Quillian?
3.
3? Okay, it's enough for you both to notice. I didn't make the other roll, but you notice now that Prince Lonnon's eyes have gone from a solid gold to a kind of caramel brown. Now, Miss Thorne, I would have a word with you.
Of course.
In private. If the rest of you don't mind, I will send her down when I'm done.
Not at all. You take as much time as you need, my friend.
Ada gives the prince a curtsy and walks out.
I bow, but I want to act before I leave. I want to activate Sense the Unseen around the prince.
Okay. Give me that roll.
So wits and all specs.
Mhm.
Okay. Hunger. That's wait. 2.
2?
2.
That's actually enough. You do notice as you kind of sense the unseen and you look around the room, you notice that kind of stationed around the balcony at 3 or 4 different places, well, actually 4 different places, there are several Nosferatu kind of like watching the rest of you.
Interesting. I smile and then I turn around and leave.
I bow to the prince and I also leave.
Lillian, do you leave or do you stay?
I leave.
Okay.
You notice I do not bow, but I leave.
Yes. Yes. Miss Thorne, if you would please have a seat.
Of course. And I will, I'll take a seat.
The gentleman I was just talking to, Mr. Black, has just come from Atlanta. He is heading to the southwest, I believe. He's looking for someone who left Atlanta in a pretty bad state.
I'm afraid I do not know what you're talking about.
Miss Thorne, if you do, I pray that I never find out and have to call that man back to this city.
I assure you, I'm just as baffled as you are. Did he say a name by any chance?
Banu Hakim do not give the names of their targets. He fulfilled a contract here for me and said he was moving west.
Well, just out of curiosity, why would you think that I would know anything about it?
I have an information network, Miss Thorne. You don't think your probationary period was just to watch and see that you were on good behavior, do you?
Of course not. Why would it be?
Don't make me regret my decision.
I would never.
Make me call him back to this city.
I understand, and I can assure you that I have no ill will here.
Very well. That is all. And when he says that is all, the Nosferatu appear. The 4 Nosferatu.
Surprise, surprise.
Night, Miss Thorne.
Good
All right,
night.
now we're going to switch it up. While this is going on, what are all of you that are downstairs doing or talking about? I'm going to give the scene to you all.
I'm still using Sense the Unseen, so I'm looking around at all the other kindred around me.
There are no more obfuscated kindred.
Okay.
As we come down the stairs, I turn to Lady Ada and I say, well, Lady Ada, this is an interesting task we've been given, is it not?
Indeed, I wish I could say I was surprised, but you know, the prince knows where I'm most useful, and that's where he sends me.
It's true.
So, I say we make the circuit, talk to these sires. Since they were responsible for them, they'd know where these kindred approximately were, at least, so we can get some eyes on the scene where they might have been disappeared from.
I'd like to know why that man's eyes gold brown. I'm just curious from those who are in the city normally. Is that a normal thing down here? Because I
No,
don't spend a lot of time down south.
it's new.
It's new. I've never
And
seen it before.
It is something quite unusual.
I'll be looking into that too. Sorry, let me
Agreed.
introduce myself formally to our new companions, those that don't know me already. I am Dr. Ada Johnson, and I am a forensic pathologist with a specialty in investigation.
That is quite a long title.
Indeed, I've had a long unlife.
And I whip out a business card. Killian Roche, perhaps you've heard of me, MMA promoter. Got a fight coming up next week right down here in Savannah.
Moreau's gonna pat his jacket, and he's like, oh, reaching in under his crown and pull out a business card. Marvello.
And I'll take that business card.
Oh,
I pull out a
please.
little business card holder and just tuck it right
I have
in.
more. I have more. And I just start doling.
I take one as he pulls out another, and I look at it, and I say, I am Aramanus, a poet.
Ah, a person of good, what is this thing? Good writing, right?
Yes.
You charm the wills of the unwilling and the willing with your words, correct?
Absolutely.
How fascinating. This is nice. Perhaps you can indulge me with a quick poem, if you'd like.
Oh, It might take me some time to craft one of
You could even do
Really have
sufficient.
time for poetry.
You can even do the simple one, the roses are red, violets are blue thing. The thing the mortals talk about all the time.
Do they talk about that all the time? I suppose they do.
Yes.
They're very
yes.
fond of flowers, aren't they?
Meanwhile,
are.
while the Malkavian and the Toreador have been talking, Ada's over here mapping out basically the route in the city that we're going to take to be the most efficient.
Marvello, I can give you a poem.
Oh, do give us a poem, Mr.
Venture
Roche.
do business. Toreador, help. You get in the MMA ring, we'll make you tap out.
Ah, that's quite interesting.
Obviously, based on what the princess said, I'm here representing Fiorenza, so it gives my clan away rather nicely. Clan Ventru is in the city tonight.
Ah, the Clan of Kings.
Well, we'll go with King, sure. I'm not from that, well, I guess you could say I am from that line, but let's just say in Chicago, Ventru's fallen on hard times in the last couple years and have been fixing the situation.
Are you talking about, what is that man's name? Kevin?
Well, he's the current prince, yeah.
Yes. Or are you talking about the racist, Loden?
I'm talking about the situation with Loden and
Yes.
what
yes.
went down after that. Of course, my grandsire's fall, quite odd. Though I've heard disturbing rumors about Mr. Capone. He's been sighted again in Chicago, of all things.
I thought he went missing. At least I heard in the circle.
Well,
Or dead.
we were assured he was dead, but death is overrated for us.
Quite overrated.
So, Ada, you know that probably from where you're at, it would be best to go see Blaine Locke first over in Yamacraw.
Okay.
Then swing back up to Cosmic Corner to see Lars.
Okay.
And then Custom Hustle to see Mr. Who.
Okay.
And then
Cassiopeia.
lastly go out to Olin Island because it's about a 15-20 minute drive from Savannah proper to almost Wilmington Island.
Okay.
And about the time Quillen and Marvello finish talking, Ada finishes mapping, Aramanus is pondering a poem. Miss Thorne comes downstairs being escorted by four Nosferatu.
Well, Have we had a lovely chat?
It has been a chat, Lady Lydia. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I choose not to really comment on her escort presently.
And then probably about 3 minutes after they get downstairs, Navarre and Prince Lonnon come down. And you watch as the Nosferatu kind of like fall in rank beside them like the Secret Service do for the president and escort him outside, and both he and Navarre get on 2 Harley Davidsons and drive off.
I'll make a note of that. Not a very strong prince is the image he's portraying, so I'm making a note for the people I talk with.
As they have left, I turn to Lydia and I say, I hope there was no problem, Lady Lydia. Your escort looked fierce.
Of course, there's no problem. What can I say? My clan tends to make people nervous.
I see.
So does mine. I understand.
Not as
I
well we
do
get
as
along
well.
so well.
Well, shall we go? I've mapped out a route that would be the most efficient so we can use as much of the night as possible tonight.
Already?
You are quite
Impressive.
fast.
Lady Ada, you are a treasure.
How is this makeshift coterie going to travel tonight?
I'm not driving.
I'm not driving either. I could, but I just have a motorcycle, and I don't think I trust anyone to ride with me.
I mean, I can drive, but I would think that it'd be more efficient to get an Uber.
My ghoul is waiting outside with my vehicle.
What vehicle does your ghoul have?
It's big enough to carry everyone.
Ah, fine.
Splendid.
So a nice covered wagon.
Be an amazing drive.
A hearse.
How fitting.
That is quite fitting indeed.
I
did not realize you came in your hearse.
What do the mottos say nowadays? It is on brand.
Well, considering where I reside and work, yes, it is on brand, but I've actually had this one customized to have seating.
Oh, lovely. Does it have a wet bar?
No.
Oh.
That should be interesting. I wonder what the papers will say about this one. Did I have a training accident and lose a fighter? Interesting.
I've heard a rumor that all press is good press if you know how to spin it.
Well, you say that, but it messes with the betting pool a little bit.
So shall we go?
Yes, I think that would be appropriate. Shotgun.
Ada, what is your ghoul's name that drives you?
Stewart.
Stewart?
Mm-hmm. He's mute.
He's mute?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
okay.
Do I hear you call him Stewart? What's up, Stu?
He doesn't even acknowledge you. He just
Stu's
opens the
not much of
door.
a talker.
He opens the door for Ada.
And I let him know everyone is getting in. And I tell him where we're going, and I tell him to go to the village first.
Before we go, I want to activate premonition.
Okay.
So that is my
Brave Kindred with this group.
At least I try to do it surreptitiously. People don't really know. So it's resolve.
I'll be honest, I'm not watching for it, so. Killian just seems generally not impressed with this group, so.
Such a
Of
good
course
true.
not. Classic Ventru.
Well, I'm from Chicago, and I'm used to a different power circle than Savannah.
You're wondering whose cornflakes you messed up in, huh?
Well, I have to promote the fight. I've got to come down here.
5?
It's not a choice. I'm just.
And Ada's unimpressed because he's new money.
So Marvello, as you kind of concentrate, everybody else can give, if you want to, give me a wits and awareness to notice this.
I will declare.
1.
3.
I got 5.
Okay. Cool.
Marvel's gonna put his headphones in so he can just kind of.
So you watch as Marvello puts his earphones in, and you can't really see his eyes. But while Marvello is swaying to the music, you watch as Marvello just goes rigid and straight and stiff. Marvello, a rushing of light happens for a second. And as you're looking around, you see a mansion with several vehicles outside, a dirt bike, a silver Corolla hatchback, a pickup truck, and a black BMW. As you kind of survey the house, it's kind of an old southern plantation style house. Marble columns, a fountain out in the center of the driveway. There's a kind of a security gate with a guard shack, but the gate is open. And then as suddenly as you have the vision, it stops.
Sorry. That 808 beat really threw me off my game. Sorry about that. Let us ride, shall we?
And you all get in, and Stuart drives to Yamacraw. And you were given a description of the sire. And that was Blake. Oh, that was Blake, sire. I'm sorry. No, it is Blake.
No, Blake Johnson was one of the missing. It's Blaine Locke.
Yep, Blaine Locke. You are correct.
Mm-hmm. Ada has a notebook.
Pay
It
no
is
attention to the
prepared.
name on this picture. And as you're driving, you actually notice a white male with kind of long hair down past his shoulders, brownish in color, a beard, and he's kind of standing out next to one of the neighborhood houses, and he's talking to some people out front. You know, dressed in various styles of clothes, from hip hop to punk rock. And Stuart pulls up and stops right next to him.
Okay. I lower the window. Mr. Locke.
Yes, Miss Johnson.
The prince has asked me to look into your missing child.
Finally, Adventure is actually going to do something.
Well, I'll be doing something.
Well, at least he sent someone sensible.
Indeed.
All they want to do is sit in their office and look at books and money, and they don't care about the rest of us.
Yeah, well,
we don't care about a low clan like yours.
Manners, you are a visitor in this city, and we can make it hell for you.
I'm going to switch to awe.
Okay.
And I'm going, hello, Mr. Blake. How are you getting on this night?
Don't believe I've had the pleasure of meeting you. You are?
Marvelo. Marvelo. Also, you can call me interested. How are you doing? Your child is missing. What can we do for you?
Color me interested. You can find out what's happened to him.
Indeed. Where was he last seen?
The last time anyone saw him or heard from him, he had sent a message to Christina that he was going to the Matahari speakeasy down on River Street.
Who is Christina?
Another of Clan Bruges.
Ah, I see. A close associate?
Yes, one of his friends.
Is Christine also missing? Or Christina?
No, Christine is probably at the Matahari.
Okay.
Would
Good.
it be safe to assume that she was likely the last one to see him?
That's just it. She didn't see him. He was supposed to meet her there, and he never misses an appointment with Christina.
Okay.
Interesting indeed.
Okay. Was he going out with anyone else that you're aware of?
He went out with Glenn, the other Blake, the neonate, Jamie the Tremere. They were like thick as thieves.
Okay.
There were two other in the coterie, but they left shortly after the coterie was formed.
Okay.
Said they were moving on.
So the entire coterie decided to go out to Maharai?
That's just where Alex went. I don't know if that's where they all hung out and partied, so to speak.
Is that the club?
Yeah,
It's a club. It's a bar.
that sounds like a club I heard of over in L.A.
What
The,
But
club
we
would
will.
that be?
what club?
Maharai?
You talking about the what's it called?
Well,
I forget.
he's an anarch, but Baron Temple's club.
Oh,
Baron
the other
Temple.
Ventry. The other Ventry.
Fiorenza speaks highly of him, so there must be something good in him.
How is Fiorenza?
Same as always.
Gentlemen,
making
if you'd like to
deals.
have social hour, you can stay here while I investigate this case.
Well, it's better than listening to some brouhaha talk about how Ventru stays in the offices when obviously one is sitting here.
Of course. Just like a Ventru to be
I was
more
fine until he started talking
taken
about
with
my
himself.
clan.
Your ego is plenty big. You don't need to keep inflating it. It's fine.
You
I would
haven't
agree
seen my
with
ego
Dr.
yet, dear?
Johnson.
I
Hello,
believe that
Max. What do you think?
I will be looking into this thoroughly. I appreciate the information you have shared with me. And I will follow up also on leads regarding the coterie mates of your child. And then once I ascertain where they were last seen, I will take a very good gander at the location to see what I can trace down.
Thank you, Miss Johnson. It's a pleasure to see someone with a level head has been led into the city. And he kind of looks at Lydia and then looks back to you.
I kind of lean towards the window and I go, Master Locke, you didn't have any suspicion that your child had anarch sympathies, did you?
You show me a Bruges that doesn't have even the smallest amount of anarch sympathy, and
I
I'll
mean,
it in true.
a little bit more than just the natural amount.
No, he's loyal to Prince Lonnon. Prince Lonnon has been the best prince we've had since I came to Savannah from Marietta.
Ah, I see. I thank you, Master Locke. Your information is helpful.
It's a pleasure to see you as always, Aramanus.
Oh, absolutely. I hope to see you again soon under better circumstances.
As do I. Miss Thorne.
It has been a pleasure.
Marvello.
Yes,
You're
before I go,
majestic.
I'm going to give you a business card. In case you ever need a psychic or want to grab a quick bite, I am available at all times except in the morning. Not a good time.
Fair enough. Sorry to have offended you.
He is a Ventru. They are very easily offended.
Quite.
Apology accepted. And I pull out my business card. You know any good fighters?
I don't know if you
We can
will take your
arrange
card.
something.
And Stuart looks at you, Ada, as if waiting for you to tell him to go to the next place.
Go ahead, Stuart.
Stuart will drive. And I believe I told you that Cosmic Corner was next.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Marvello, I positively love your sense of humor.
Oh,
Mornings are a bad time for most of us, isn't it?
yes, quite. Uh, one of my clients found out the hard way.
Most of our
dear.
kind seem to avoid discussing morning and daylight anymore. It's like by not talking about it, they can somehow deny the existence.
He was new. He was very new. And then he wanted to go out, and I said to stay. And then he found out that the morning can be quite painful, if you get my gist.
We
What a
tan so
pity,
easy.
what a loss.
Dear me.
He's
Well.
in torpor right now.
I don't miss the sun. Most of my work was done at night anyway.
I could do either or, but at this moment, it's not a good time to be in the night. Excuse me, in the oh goodness, my words are getting slurred. I guess I need to do something about that. The daytime. There it is. Sorry, it's been a long time since I used my brain like that.
It's not good to be either one, really, with all the things that have been going on lately.
Yes. I'm also still rather intrigued about what's happening with Loden in Chicago. I've heard things. I've heard so much.
He fell.
I'm aware.
Kevin is doing, I guess, an adequate job.
I heard that he's, pardon me for saying, but a Ventru bastard.
Well, I mean, the reputation fits. I've been just busy dealing with the other parts, with Capone gone, if you don't believe the rumors have been gone, I should say.
Understand.
It was
Understand.
time, I think, for me to switch up.
Yes.
So, you know, Lorenzo had to go away, and Killian had to come out and do my thing, I guess.
Yes.
But the rumors are disturbing that Capone may not be gone.
Yes. And if that is true, then that is not
Well,
good.
you talk about Ventru bastards. My grandsire is definitely one of those.
I don't mean to offend. I have no problem with Ventru. I think Ventru are interesting and whatever Ventru do, but that's only the rumor that I heard.
I do apologize for my outburst earlier, and I say this to the entire vehicle. I just get a little upset when I hear Ventru, or Bruja, assuming that all Ventru do is sit in offices and look at ledgers and books. Because I am obviously a very hands-on individual that does not spend much time in an office.
Aromanes,
Yes.
I'm still waiting for this poem.
I know you are, darling.
And as that said, Stuart pulls up to the Cosmic Corner. He looks at you, Ada, and as if, do you want me to park the car, or do you just want me to drive around?
Park the car for now. If anyone comes up to the car that isn't us, drive around.
And he will
And
get
I
out,
get out.
open the door for you,
Mm-hmm.
let everyone else out, close the car up, and then drive. Or go park.
I would like to note that when everyone gets out and they're walking forward, I'm going to hang back just a little, and I will use a flip phone, and I'm going to send a message to Evangeline and let her know that there's a Banu Hakim that has a contract on her and is looking for her. And then I'm going to delete that message after I send it and put the phone away.
Anything else?
I will catch up to the group.
Okay. So as you get to the door, the sign says open. It's a really nice. It's a decent sized building, but as far as it being a chantry for the Tremere, it's not the equivalent for a chantry. It's the prince wasn't lying when he said that he can't really find a place in the city to be a chantry for the Tremere, and there aren't that many Tremere in the city right now. They've taken numerous losses all over the world, and they're just really hesitant to move anywhere with a large group of kindred right now. So as you walk in, it's kind of an open area. It's got things from healing crystals to ritual daggers to bowls, all the things that a really nice occult shop has. It's really nicely furnished. And as you enter, a man comes from the back with kind of about the length of my hair, jet black hair, kind of a tribal type tattoo that goes up to the side of his face that almost looks like shadows. If you didn't know that this was a Tremere chantry, you would think that maybe he was a Lasombra. Dressed in all black, earrings, wearing dark sunglasses. Welcome to the Cosmic Corner. How can I help you?
I'm going to walk up to him and extend my hand and grab it. It is so nice to be here. How are you doing?
I am doing well. And who are you, my friend?
I am Marvello. I am here with my friends. I use that term loosely. I'm just visiting. But I am here to help you with a loss that you have, a child.
Do we know this is the person we need to talk to?
Ada, you would know. You have been to several meetings. Like when the prince holds the meeting, you are invited because of your long standing and how long you've been in Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
So you would know. Lydia, no, because she's really hasn't been invited to any of those meetings. When you go to those meetings with Prince Lonnon, you were there to tell him, basically, not spying on Lydia, but he would ask you if she had done anything that would warrant her not being allowed into the Camarilla. And she, as far as you know, nothing has been done.
But I do recognize that is Lars Stevens.
That is Lars, yes.
Okay.
That's Lars.
Do I know him? Have I seen him before?
You would, because same thing. Whereas Lydia wasn't, and it would alternate.
I don't know anything.
Yeah.
We were your babysitters.
As far as you're concerned, if Ada went, you were stuck babysitting. And vice versa.
Yeah. Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Hermanus.
Lars, hello. How are you doing tonight?
I'm well. Ms.
You're
Johnson.
looking well.
Oh, thank you. I'm looking a little pale, but
What
happens when you're anemic?
Yes, I quite understand.
Miss Thorne.
Good evening.
And I've met Marvello. Who's your other friend?
Killian Rush. And I pull out my business card.
He'll take it.
MMA.
He organized fights.
Well, MMA, it's fights, but
it's better than wrestling. Promoter. At least it's real.
I'm still holding his hand.
The new thing, of course, boxing is on its way out, I should say. So, time to get involved in the new stuff.
Mr. Stevens, the prince has asked us to look into your missing child.
Yes.
Prince Lonnon, he's by far the best prince we've had since I've come here.
What are you, darling?
When was Jamie last seen, and where was he going that you're aware of?
I'm not 100% sure where he was going, but I do believe he was meeting his other coterie mates, but I don't know where.
Interesting.
Does your child have, what did they say? What did you say, Adamanus, the last time? Anarch leanings?
Anarch leanings, anarch sympathies. No, not at all.
We are loyal to the Camarilla. And
which is
always will
okay.
be.
It is okay to have a childhood that's a little wild, as they say. I'm just trying to make sure.
We are
Can you be
investigating
certain?
all avenues.
Yes.
Can you be
all of it.
certain that? Can you be certain that that you would know for sure?
He kind of
Perhaps there's
extends his hand out
secrets.
toward to you, Lydia.
I will take his hand.
Tremere aren't known for having anarch children, that's for sure.
He leans down and he gently kisses your hand. I can be 100% sure because I am of the old thought of the Tremere.
The old thought.
Your
Structure,
child was bound to
organization.
you quite strongly.
Yes. And just I cannot call to him or him call back to me.
Fascinating.
Which is more concerning to me.
That is of great concern.
Indeed.
Can I interest you in some healing crystals?
Yes, I'd love some.
I would
I
like
think
to
I'll be
roll a.
fine.
I would like to roll a wits insight to try to see if he's lying.
Go for it.
I want to use Scry the Soul on him.
Okay.
Ooh, he can feel that.
And you will have to familiarize me with Scry the Soul. Is that like Spirit's Touch?
No.
I got 6 with a crit.
Ooh.
He is not lying. He is being 100% honest with you.
By focusing on a
Interesting.
person, the vampire can perceive the state of that person's psyche as a shifting aura of colors.
Aura perception. Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
And you got how many successes?
I have to do it. It's a rouse check first.
Okay.
Yep. And an intelligence aspect versus composure subterfuge.
And I passed the rouse check.
Awesome. So you don't get hungrier.
Yes, so it's intelligence and all specs. Let's see what we got. All right. 3. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. 5.
5?
Yes.
He's very emotional. There's like a swirl of emotions about him. He's distraught. He's saddened. There's a bit of rage there. No happiness.
Did your children have any friends or, well, I won't say friends, let's say any associates or rivals we should know about?
That I know of, no. Was very liked. Jamie was one of my brightest pupils. When I leave the Chantry and go somewhere else, he was primed to take over. I mean, that in itself could be a reason for someone to, I guess, Mr. Quillian, as you may be hinting to, for someone to try to knock him off.
That's where I'm going, yes. And everyone else in the room can see that, unlike with the Bruja, I'm very interested in discussing things with the Tremere.
Is there by any chance anyone, like, can I see if there's is there anybody else around that may look a little sketch?
Sure. Are you just looking, or are you using a spell?
I'm just going to look. No, I'm just looking.
A discipline?
No, I'm just looking. I'm just trying to see what I can see.
Give me a wits plus awareness.
Fantastic.
Mr. Stevens, may I take a look at Mr. Michelson's quarters?
Yes. Just a moment. He kind of reaches under the counter over where he's with Marvello. And you kind of see him make a motion, so you imagine he's probably pushing a button. What did you get, Lydia?
3.
3 successes? There's actually no one but you all in the front room. You do notice that the sign to the store doesn't say open anymore. It says closed.
Okay.
And a few minutes after he makes that motion, Ada, you notice someone come from behind the curtain. You see a female with kind of waist length red hair comes out. Alexandria, will you please show Miss Johnson Jamie's quarters? She's been sent by the prince.
I'd like to come too, Dr. Johnson, if you don't mind.
As long as you can be quiet while I'm in there investigating, certainly.
Oh, of course, of course. I can do more than that.
Good.
And you notice as Alexandria kind of looks at Lars to get the okay for the other for Marvello to go, and he nods. If it brings us Jamie, then yes. And
that's what we are trying to do.
Yes.
Alexandria will lead you through. So we will do that scene in a minute. Those of you that are still out front with Lars, if there's anything you want to do with Lars, the scene is yours.
I'm just kind of looking around, seeing if there is anything out of place, essentially.
So you said your shoulder was going to replace you. Was this known by everyone? Was this actually announced, or was it just assumed?
No, it's nothing that we've announced. It's just something that, out of all the children here of the Tremere, he is the most capable of them.
Question about the coterie, Lars, is how can I put this to put it correctly? How does a Tremere end up with a Gangrel and Bruja? I understand Tremere is loyal to the Camarilla. Those two particular clans are suspect. Especially after, let's just say, someone ventilated Hardestack from a specific clan.
One thing you will learn about our prince, he has first been true and loyal to his clan. But he believes that in order for the Camarilla to survive against all the threats that we face, that we must be united. We do not tell our childer who they will and will not. That is a human prejudice that we try to leave behind.
And why the word's understandable. How far did that get Hardestack? Just, I was curious about why. I understand the Tremere and the Toradora. That makes perfect sense. But why a Gangrel and Bruja? It just seemed odd.
Well, you know, many Ventrue have shifted from what Hardestack said and believed. But there are many like Prince Lonnon who still believe in that. And probably will to their dying day, and they will probably meet the same justification.
Fiorenza tells me I'm too old-fashioned for my age, but...
How is Fiorenza?
She's doing well. She's been tied up a bit with L.A.
Tied up, or...
Well, she's still trying to convince Baron Temple that he really should join the tower instead of playing with the Anarchs.
Is Temple still playing with the Anarchs?
Yes, he is. It's amusing, actually. It keeps her busy and off my case some, but, I mean, I try to help her when she can. She helps me. She's a busy, busy woman.
Well, when you speak to her again, tell her that Lars sends his sincerest regards and hopes that his regards find her well.
That I will. I will pass the message on when I speak to her again.
Miss Thorne, we should talk sometime.
Now, hopefully, while I was distracting him with this talk, people were doing things around the room, looking at shit.
That's what I was trying to do, yeah.
Okay, so
things.
So, Lydia, what were you doing?
I'm sorry, what?
Lydia, what were you doing?
I was I was shuffling around as if like still in the room, but if I could possibly maybe use shadow perspective to sift around in places that I can't go, that would be great.
Rouse check, right?
Yeah.
Make that rouse check for me. Ermias, what are you doing?
My name banter has a reason. Just to distract everybody.
I figured that's what you were doing.
I don't have an ability to get in places where I'm not supposed to be, but I want to kind of look around and see if there's maybe like private papers that might be where I can see them, or just any hints about what might be going on or anything. Just little clues that perhaps didn't occur to.
Okay, so
to
you're looking for
Lars.
anything that's out of place. Go ahead and make me a wits awareness. How'd you do on the rouse check?
I got a messy crit.
Ooh.
Hold on just a second.
Fantastic.
So fun when those happen. Love them.
Oh my god.
Had to
This
roll
is gonna
two
be
rouse
fun.
check.
I'm going to see if I can go the whole game without rolling any dice voluntarily.
Oh dear.
Oh goodness.
Oh
Yeah.
dear me.
Perfect timing to get a messy crit on a rouse check, right?
Right.
Oh, there was worse times, but not many.
And so I'm a kind and benevolent DM. Take one stain.
I only got one success.
One success?
One success.
So it is. I'll get back to your messy critical in a minute, Lydia. Let me solve this. So as you're looking around, it just, I mean, maybe some books are out of place, but I mean, it's nothing really. Yeah, your OCD probably makes you put them in alphabetical. Somebody's clearly taking them out.
I'm helping. Somebody's messed this up.
So getting back to Miss Thorne and her messy critical, as you reach out with your shadows and you try to make them pierce through the chantry, there's a sudden pain that you feel as you hit something, and your shadows, instead of going into the chantry, reach out and form like a shadow figure outside the chantry, and you hear a scream of a child.
Oh dear. All right.
Just a second, I need to roll
Pull
something.
them back.
Oh god.
Oh no.
So as you're having your conversation, just as you finish your last sentence, Quillian, you watch as Lars's head just snaps and locks on Lydia, and his eyes are just like burning through her.
I turn and look.
You are in
I just ignore him.
And you try your shadow sorcery.
You yourself said whatever would bring Jamie back. I was only
They
trying to help.
asked. You were snooping.
Come now, Lars. We know
Not
that.
exactly snooping. I was looking around.
Come now, Lars. We understand that they're new to the Camarilla, so it'll take them time to understand the etiquette of a situation. I'm sure she meant no offense, but
Oh, absolutely not. No,
Of
Lydia.
course
Quillian,
not.
roll me
I
a
would
manipulation
never.
plus persuasion. His eyes are still
Shoot
locked
you.
on.
Oh no, my man.
okay. Let me see. Let me get my dice for that.
I move to stand near to Lydia.
I assure you, I meant no offense at all.
Would
I-
Marvello or Dr. Ada have heard that scream?
It was outside.
No, you're too deep in the chantry.
Okay.
Because you've
We
actually
have
been
no
taken down a set
idea
of
that Lydia
stairs.
just messed up. Okay.
5
Okay.
successes
Okay.
on 6 dice.
Gloriously messed up.
Spectacularly.
Yep, I got 5 successes on 6 dice. That's not bad.
Go big or
I'll take
go
it.
Not
home,
bad.
right?
Go big or go home.
Next time, just ask, like the others, if you'd wish to look around. No shadows.
Of course. You have my apologies.
And he will go back to talking with Quillian. All right, so the two of you, you're taken through the curtain into the back of the chantry, and you go to a room there's actually only a single room. It looks like a storeroom. Alexandria opens the storeroom door, and there's various occult items. And she goes over to a bookshelf and she pulls a book, and the bookshelf slides to the side and starts leading you down some stairs to the actual chantry proper. You go down and you see various. There's maybe 3 or 4 other Tremere practicing music. They look up and they see you, and they want to wave at you, but they kind of nod at you instead because they're busy doing rituals. And then they kind of look at Marvello, kind of puzzled, but they smile and nod at you as well.
He's with me.
Very well, Miss Johnson. Good to see you. You
Good.
realize that is Thomas. He's kind of he's high up there in this chantry.
It's good to see you, gentlemen, as well.
Alexandria leads you to a room. And she does kind of pricks her finger and does a symbol on the door, and it opens. This is Jamie's room. I'll be outside. I won't disturb you.
Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you.
You're welcome, Miss Johnson.
Okay. So I'm assuming this is going to be an intelligence investigation.
Yes, please.
I would like to enhance my senses, though.
Okay.
But both sight, smell. Actually, I want to do sight, smell, and hearing if I can do all 3.
Okay.
Okay. So, I muted so that my dice tower wouldn't blow everybody's ears out. 4, that's a crit.
I want to do
5,
premonition.
6, 7. I got 8 on that. It's an intelligence investigation with a forensic specialty.
Okay, so as you rifle through, well, you don't really rifle through. You're being thorough and you're being proper because you're specialized in investigation and you know how to look for things.
Mm-hmm.
And you open up, there's a footlocker, and it's got like blood sorcery books at the bottom, and Tremere 101, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice a kind of a like flyer for the Matahari Speakeasy. Go ahead and do your roll for premonition, Marvella. 3. And what are you trying to ascertain this time?
What's trying to see possibly what was going to happen next. We pick up on like where the Kindred may be headed to, if he's actually lost or not in the final death.
Okay. So again, you don't see this, Ada, because
I'm focused.
You're busy.
I'm in the zone.
But you're vibing. Do you put your headphones in again?
Mm-hmm.
You're vibing to your music, and to you, you're still vibing to the music, but your body goes rigid again. And if you didn't have your glasses on, the other Kindred would kind of see your eyes kind of glaze over. But because you're wearing your glasses, no one can see that when you do that. But you kind of snap into a stillness for a second, and you see a set of cobblestone road with railroad inlaid into it, next to what appears to be a river with a riverboat going down it. And then your vision pans over to a wooden door that it's kind of a dark brown wooden door. It has a small enough area where a peephole is. And where the peephole is, there's actually kind of like a little bit of a metal piece, and I will show you a picture of that door real quick. And I will also send you all a picture of Lars as well. This is Lars. And that is the door. And as you look at the door opens. There's no bouncer outside, but the door opens and some what you guess are mortals. Yeah, Marvella, go ahead and take care of what you need to take care of real quick. That's fine. So what you assume to be mortals just kind of come stumbling out, but you think that maybe it's leaning toward the speakeasy. Back to you, Ava. Or Ava. Lydia's character is Ava in our game, and then you did Ada, and I've been calling you Ava because of that.
That's all right.
So as you continue to rifle through, you see
I
some
see
notes.
the flyer, and
Yeah, you have the flyer, and it's something about a dance party thrown by DJ Whoopty Woo.
Okay, and what's the date on it? Is it prior to when our current
It
date
is prior. It's like 2 weeks prior to when you were told that they went missing, originally started going missing.
Okay, so they started hanging out here, is what I'm inferring from this. Is there anything written on the flyer anywhere, like in handwriting?
Yeah, there's actually a number.
Okay, I take note of the number.
912 357 2212.
Okay.
And there's a name scribbled on the top of it. It says Natasha.
Natasha. Okay, perfect. Do I notice anything else?
You got 5?
No, I got 8.
8.
Right.
Oh, so with 8, you don't really know blood sorcery, but like for what you would think for a Tremere, this is not as organized as it should be for somebody who is in line to take over the Chantry when Lars leaves.
Okay, well, if this is the best and brightest of their Chantry, there might be issues with the Chantry surviving. Okay. All right, so I just, do a quick, another glance around the room just to make sure nothing jumps out at me that I missed.
And as you do that, you actually notice that down by the headboard, at the where on the wall where the bed is, there's actually what looks to be a Polaroid picture.
Oh, I'm going to snatch that. What's in the picture?
You see Jamie with his short blonde hair, and his blue eyes. And he's on the arm of a dark-haired girl.
Okay.
With kind of caramel colored skin, and green eyes. And as you flip the photo over, it says Natasha and Jamie.
Interesting. I'm going to take that picture with me. If I happen to see Jamie, I'll give it back.
Fair enough. Those of you that are out front, are you doing anything else?
I'm just keeping Lars busy.
Trying not to get in any more trouble.
Yeah, I'm not doing much. I'm listening to the conversation and keeping close to Lydia. And not necessarily trying to stop you from doing anything, Lydia, but just kind of you get the feeling I'm kind of standing there like protective like.
Ada, you have something else?
I do. I'm going to basically make sure that Marvello's done whatever he was doing and say, I'm finished here if you're ready to go.
Yep. He had to step away for a minute, so his premonition is over. We can always retcon when he comes back.
Yep, absolutely. So I open the door and let Alexandria know that we're finished and thank her.
Very well. And she leads you both back through the chamber, and by then, the Tremere are done with the rituals. So they actually wave and tell you goodbye. Good seeing you again. We should have tea sometime. You know, old habits die hard for the young kindred. So.
All right. And so then as I walk out, I just show the picture to Lars and I say, "Who's the girl?"
He looks at. He kind of shakes his head. A mortal that Jamie was becoming infatuated with.
Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna look into it. I found some interesting things in his room, so
Very well.
I'll get back to you with information on if he can be located or not.
Miss Thorne,
Yes.
would you like to atone for your trespass?
Do tell me how would I atone exactly?
Would you permit me a drop of your blood?
Oh, what did you do?
I was simply checking to see if there was anything that had been missed, and it did not go over very well.
She tried to pierce the wards of the Chantry.
Oh no!
I
Just
was
a drop.
only
That's all I
trying.
need. I promise you no harm will become you.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure I can find other ways to atone, like perhaps finding Jamie. That would be enough.
Just a drop.
I would rather not.
We're not all that evil, as they
I'm
make us
sure. I'm sure you're not. Just like not all of my clan are that evil.
seem. Very well then. I'll come up with something.
I'm sure you will. I can't wait to find out what that will be.
Very kind, Laws. Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure, Aramanus. Getting back to Marvello, did you want anything else? Because that's all you get from the... Okay. All right, so you and Ava have been escorted back upstairs. She's found some information, a Polaroid. The group is now back together. I assume you're going to exit the shop.
Did you find we're looking for Dr. Johnson?
You're muted.
Thank you. I found information that they've definitely been hanging out at the Matahari Club, and there is a kind that Jamie's infatuated with.
Ah.
So possibly a witness as to his last whereabouts.
Do you know where we could possibly find this kind?
Actually, I have a phone number, and I look at Aramanus and say, would you mind giving her a call and asking about the last time she saw Jamie?
Is there a phone I can use?
Well, do you have a cell phone?
No.
I don't.
You can use
There's a
my
cell
smartphone.
phone here that can talk.
Oh, Lydia, do you have a phone, darling? I don't know that I've seen you with one, but I can't use the things. They're absolutely dreadful little gremlins. I hate them.
Why not? Get with the times.
Oh,
It's
Marvello, darling.
Lydia, are you giving up your phone?
I couldn't
Marvello
even
has
run
a
my business
phone.
without my phone.
I do have a phone.
I'm sure that he would be glad to let you use his phone.
He's gonna pull it from out of his crown. You can use it if you'd like.
Do you know how to use it, Marvello?
Of course, of course.
Show me. Why don't you do the call and you can show me how it's done?
Okay.
Illustrate how the times are now with
That is one
glowing
majestic
gremlins.
phone. That is a majestic phone coming out of the crown. It's just
Thank you very much. Hold on, let me TikTok. I was on TikTok. Okay.
On a what?
I will explain another time. We need to get the phone call out of the way.
Yes.
Johnson, what is the number?
It is 912-357-2212.
Okay.
And the name is Natasha.
Okay.
Lydia is fascinated by his smartphone because she cannot use one, and she is looking at it very intently.
So after about 4 or 5 rings, the phone's finally picked up. Hello?
Hello. How are you doing? Is this Natasha?
Who's asking?
Well, in a cartoon standpoint, I would be Boris, but I am looking for you in the best way possible. My name not important. Not really. Well, it is important because it is mine. But
Boris, what do you want?
yes,
You're kind of creeping me out.
I don't mean to creep you out. I'm trying to find a missing person, so to speak. Do you want to be part of a mystery novel?
Are you looking for Jamie?
Yes, that one.
Do you have any leads? Do you know where he's at?
I thought you may have known where he's at.
I haven't seen him. He was supposed to meet me at the Matahari Speakeasy, but he never showed up. I thought he, like, there was that blonde that came in.
A blonde?
Yeah. And he
I'm going to put it on speaker. Hold on. Like, watch this. There.
She came in one night while we were all like doing shots and like came up to Jamie and the others, and they just seemed like enamored by her. Like they couldn't take her eyes off her. And that Jamie's not like that. He's a one woman guy. We were gonna move. He said we were gonna move somewhere and start a life together.
Oh, do you know this blonde's name besides just blonde hair? The shoe size, the height, what she was wearing.
I can't really use the names I want to call her because they're not very nice. But no, I don't know her name. I didn't want to know her name. She was trying to steal my boyfriend.
Did you cut her?
No, I didn't want to go to jail. I mean, I threatened to kick her butt, but, you know, and I didn't use those words. I used some really ugly words, but...
Ada writes down on her notepad, ask how many nights ago was it she saw that?
I point to the notepad.
How long ago was this? How many nights were this?
He's been missing for 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah, well, yeah, hold on, No, 3 weeks. He went missing, and then Glenn went missing, and then Blake went missing along with Alex.
Wait. So they did not go missing at the same time.
And it has been 3 weeks.
And it's
3 weeks.
Been that long, and
we are just finding out about it.
Do you have me on speakerphone?
No, not at all. This is the television. Don't mind that. Sorry. I'm in my room. I am lounging. I am not wearing shoes, and I'm calling because I'm concerned about Jamie.
Roll me a manipulation plus subterfuge, please.
Okay.
it's just one of the spirits in the room. It's okay.
Pay no attention to the
Savannah
ghost.
is very haunted, y'all.
Oh, I am so shocked. I'm just shocked at this news that they didn't even disappear at once. They just disappeared one at a time 3 weeks ago. And
3
nobody
weeks.
said anything.
3 weeks.
Nobody said anything for 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Like
We're
one
just
at a time.
I mean, again, they're one at a time.
To be honest, the prince did tell you that they've been so overwhelmed with the SI.
True. He
and
did
obviously he doesn't really care about the neonates that are
Obviously,
going missing.
Obviously, there's all the Nosferatu are on guard duty instead of keeping an eye on the city because
right.
What'd you get, Marvello?
5.
You watch some really weird shows. She got.
I know. There's this girl on the television named Amy Allen. I watched The Dead Files. It's a really good show. You should watch it.
Oh, you like The Dead Files? I totally love The Dead Files. We should like when you find Jamie, we should like all hang out and watch it together.
Yes. Good. And we'll have drinks and burgers.
Yes, drinks. Well, I'm vegetarian, so
we can do a vegetarian option.
Burger.
I know a couple of vegetarian spots that will be, as they say, the chef kiss, the French, whatever. It's really good stuff. Really good stuff.
Chef kiss? I've never heard. Anyways, that's like it's been like 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
But you're not the only person that's they didn't call. They came by. There were these 2 men in suits.
What did they look like?
You remember Will Smith and that other guy in the movie?
Yes. Men in Black.
They were dressed like that.
Oh, yes.
But they didn't like zap my memory.
Okay, but what did they do to your memory?
Nothing.
Oh,
They just asked questions about Jamie. They said they were concerned.
they did not ask you for favors or try to buy your happiness or stuff like that.
No. They were clearly concerned about where Jamie was.
Do you know what they looked like or how tall they were? Were they
One was really tall, and he had like this messy black hair
okay?
and these like ice blue eyes that pierced through you. He like looked like
Oh.
this model type, like goth model dude. He
Mm-hmm.
was like, I mean, if I
Oh no, Jeremy.
No, you
You
froze.
froze.
Oh,
Oh, no.
whoop. Okay. No, you're good. You're good.
and the other one, he was like way shorter because the other dude was like really tall. But
Mhm.
the other guy was really short
Yes.
and had shoulder length blonde hair.
Okay.
And smiled a lot.
Ah.
Do these descriptions trigger my knowledge on anyone?
Same.
Same.
Not same. I don't live in the city, so me.
Did we lose Jeremy again?
Oh
I
God,
think
no.
he's frozen.
You're frozen.
No.
Unfreeze yourself.
Oh no, Mr. Bill.
Oh,
Jeremy, you're frozen.
you moved for a second, Jeremy.
Come back.
Okay, my net's being funky. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, the goth model looking guy, was Mr. Black.
That's what I
did-
thought.
So
You did not
Fantastic.
see a
The other
short
person?
guy that smiled in a suit.
Okay. Okay.
And okay.
And I basically give Marvello a nod like we've got enough info.
Okay. Okay. Are you all right? Are you eating? Is everything good?
Yeah, I really miss Jamie, and I just
Uh-huh.
when you find him, will you tell him I love him, and that I can't wait to see him?
Of course. I will most definitely not do that. You have a good night. Can I hang up the phone?
You hear say bye, Boris, as you hang up the phone.
Well, doctor, that was enough.
Yes, that was enough. Basically, Mr. Black and someone of his associates went to see her about him. The gentleman that we saw when we went to see the prince this evening.
The creepy one.
Yes, he is a Banu Hakim.
How do you?
The thing that gets me is I keep
And there are
hearing
many
this.
things.
Well, I keep hearing this Maharani keeps getting brought up over and over. Should we just go check that place out? Because this isn't the first person bringing it up.
Do you want to go dancing, Mr. Roach? Is that it?
I don't do much dancing, but if it's the right kind of neighborhood, I can surely
I can
find
show
some
you.
fun.
I can show you some of the stuff the young mortals have been teaching me. It's been fascinating.
My kind of dancing is a bit different.
You don't have to do the rhythmic shuffle. You can move.
Just a clarification. Are you guys doing this out front of the shop in the street?
I
No,
thought
we
we'd
were in
gotten
the
back
car.
in the
Okay.
car.
No, we're in the
Just
car.
want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just keep hearing
I
this club.
I just basically lean in to Stuart and say, "Go to the Maharani."
Yes,
I
because
believe that's
we
it.
can
kind
go
of-
and find sires and talk about their missing child all night, but they're just all going to say the same thing: is they're
Right.
not here.
No, at this point though, we have new intel. Basically, they were meeting there. There was a blonde woman there, so we go to their club and ask about the blonde woman.
Or
That
find
It
her.
follows a process.
Right, or find her if she's there, and
Right.
then we can
Mm.
extract information about where.
Because
They
the
went.
other side, the other ones aren't going to give us any more than that, they were together and they went there or, whatever. So at this point, yes, we're going to go follow this lead on the blonde woman.
Right, we can find her, and to quote a movie which is so overdone, we'll make her an offer she can't refuse.
You understood that reference.
Ada, you notice as Clillian says that Stuart just rolls his eyes.
Ada just looks completely impassive. She's so not amused.
Marvella has his headphones in, so he's just.
Lady Ada, I was somewhat distracted by Marvello's
Oh.
interesting performance.
Yes.
Did she say that that everyone seemed to be falling all over themselves at this blonde woman?
Mm-hmm.
Does it seem as if she were perhaps exerting some power over them?
Supernatural power, yes, indeed.
That's what I
The
thought.
the question now would be, what type of supernatural power would she have
That is the
been?
question.
Oh, I think that the Toreador are usually notorious for it.
Right, but would Jamie not have realized that?
Yeah, but if she's powerful enough, they wouldn't have been able to stop it.
That is true. I suppose we are going dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
I hear dancing. We're going dancing.
Yes, Marvello, we are going dancing.
Do you want to be my partner?
I especially want to
Sure,
see
why
these
not?
new dances that you've been taught.
Oh, my goodness. I tell you, on TikTok and on YouTube, the dances are fascinating. I had some young mortals teaching me how to, what is it? This thing. I thought that was really interesting.
What are you doing with your arms there?
You will see it on the dance floor, I promise.
I don't know if I rather like that very much at all.
Well, we
Looks
could
coordinated.
Ada, you would know that in order to get to the Matahari, Stuart is not going to be able to drive down there. Well, he can, but it would basically be he would drive by, drop you off out front, and then he would have to go find somewhere in River Street proper to park.
Yeah. No, that's fine. What I think he can do is actually park, and we'll walk the rest of the way.
Okay. Is he going to go with you, or is he going to stay at the car?
He's going to stay at the car.
Okay.
Question, Dr. Johnson.
Yes.
Hearse. How does this hearse look? Is it on brand black with a little thing on the side? And we're just...
So there's actually
If it's done right, it should have a skull on it for a hood ornament. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like something like that.
Yes.
It basically looks like the customized hearses. So it looks like, somebody bought a hearse and customized it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
to make it blend in a little bit more with the society. So it's not,
Okay.
There's actually a hearse company that does haunted tours in Savannah. So I imagine that Ada Johnson has tricked out her hearse to look like one of those, so she's more inconspicuous when she's doing things. So
and there is no wet bar in here, right?
No.
No, not in those because they're public because kids get to go on them too.
Yeah. No.
And a vampire wet bar really ruins the interior.
So Stuart takes you down on River Street proper. You pass several clubs, Savannah Smiles, 309 West, and you eventually get to the door that Marvello rings a bell with you. It's the bell you saw in your premonition, or the door you saw in the premonition. But Ada and Aramanus, you guys have kind of done the River Street thing, walking around at night, maybe when you're hungry and you needed to feed. So you know this door. You've seen it probably 100 times. For other than Lydia, you would probably have seen it too because you were part of a probationary coterie and they kind of watched you like hawks. So you've probably been down here with them.
Oh, I'm sure I've dragged Lady Lydia down here before, at least once, twice.
Yeah, I'm not much of a club goer myself.
But
I get my food delivered.
Much to my dismay, I'm
And
sure.
the kind of clubs I normally attend aren't the kind that I think most of these people here would be part of.
So Stuart drops you off and he kind of motions to his watch, like asking you if you had a time frame you wanted him to come back, or he kind of pulls out his phone and...
I don't have a phone.
That's
so
right.
I'm old. I don't have a phone.
He kind of does this.
You should give him Marvello's number. That would be smart. I would think, at least. They could chat regularly.
Yeah, no. I just basically tell him where to park, where to find parking, and we'll walk that way when we're done.
And he tells you that he basically scribbles on a piece of paper that he'll park at the parking garage that you suggested.
You're going to leave him here all night while we're out dancing?
I'm not staying here all night. If y'all stay here all night, that's on you to find transportation back to wherever you're staying.
No, I would not at all stay here all night.
Yeah, I do have other business in Savannah.
Okay. Well, that is
If
fine.
you want to party, that's fine. But I have a
No,
case to
no,
solve.
no. It's not time to party. We can party.
Tell
and
you
do
what,
work.
Marvello, when my guy wins the match tomorrow night, we will go out and celebrate after.
I would like that a lot. Let's do
I
this.
said I like the way you roll.
Yes, let's do this. Armanis, I'm still waiting on that poem.
Oh, it's
Question,
halfway done, my
Marvello.
dear.
Yes. Yes.
Do you have a TikTok?
Yes.
Marvello has a TikTok?
Yes.
Okay. So, as you all exit the car, there's a group of like, it's like a mix of like guys and gals are coming down the street. One goes, "Yo, it's Marvello from TikTok, y'all. It's Marvello," and they like start yelling, and they all come running towards you. Yo, dude, you didn't say you were coming to Savannah. It's me, Ponzer, like 357. I like all your stuff on TikTok.
It was a surprise. It was a surprise.
Oh, dude, where are you like partying at? Can we like party with you?
I activate Daunt.
But
I like lean over to Killian.
Quietly working her way towards the door.
I'm following Ada.
I lean towards Killian and say, "Why are they saying a TikTok over and over?"
I'm just going to activate Daunt and try to get rid of these people. Just look intimidating standing behind Marvello. Like,
Yeah,
really
they
intimidating.
they're like, "Oh shoot, that's his bodyguard. He doesn't want to be bothered," and they like take off. Like even the girls in high heels are running in high heels. That's how bad you scared them.
Send me messages online later, and I will get back to you.
Why? I
I
follow the ladies. Do you know what they're talking about? This TikTok thing. They keep saying the words over and over and over again.
March into the club.
Lydia has followed Ada. She is not any part of that at all.
So as you get to the door, like I said, there is no bouncer. There's a kind of a peephole sized entity on the door with some bars, enough that the peephole can see through. And there's a kind of a buzzer on the side of the door. Marvello pushes it.
Mm-hmm.
A few minutes go by. Big guy in a suit opens the door. Ah, Miss Johnson. You recognize this is Aramanus. Oh, Miss Lydia. Oh, it's nice, really nice to see you here, Lydia. Are you good? Are you dancing tonight?
Do I ever?
Oh, I was like totally hoping you were going to dance tonight. And this
She's
is
going to
Charles.
dance with me.
Charles, darling, do let us in. Some people.
Oh yeah, no,
that
and
were...
he like steps out the way. He's like,
yeah.
Anything for Miss Lydia.
I know you're so infatuated with her. So Charles,
she is.
Some people basically are turning up missing after coming to your club, and I'm looking into that.
While she's talking to him, I'm using insight to see if I catch him,
Lynch or anything?
being evasive or any kind of hints that she's.
Oh, you're gonna want to talk to Mr. Bishop then.
Take me to see Mr. Bishop.
Oh yeah, sure. He's talking to. Yeah, he like constantly is like breaking eye contact with you and looking at Lydia, and then he's like, yeah, anything for Miss Lydia. And he basically leads you in. Aramanus, I need you to make a wits plus awareness check for me as soon as you enter.
Wits plus awareness.
This is good.
2.
2? That is enough. You notice that Maya is talking to a young male, white male with dreads, very well dressed. And she is like laughing at everything he says. And Charles looks at you, Ada, and he's like, he's with Miss Maya right now. And you know that this is Bishop Kane. He is actually a ministry that Prince Lonnon has allowed into the city.
Good thing I don't know that.
And I do. Basically there's a door or door frame or something I can knock on.
Oh, he's actually at the bar. He's at the bar talking.
I
Okay.
swan over.
Okay.
Absolutely fabulous. Just swanning right over.
Oh, hello, good man. How are you?
Doing very well. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. I don't believe we've had the pleasure of meeting. I'm Bishop Kane.
Bishop Kane. I'm Aramanus. Lovely to meet you.
Is this the bloke you were talking about?
Hello, Maya.
What does Maya look like?
She's dark skin, dark brown skin, dark hair, kind of natural, like minimal makeup, nothing too heavy. She's kind of short-ish, like 5'6". Is that short? I think.
And she sees you. It's like, Bishop Kane and I were just talking. I was telling him about your poetry and how amazing it is, and I feel so flattered that I'm always the first one that gets to read it. And he said maybe that, she points over to the stage in the middle of the speakeasy. And she's like, maybe someday some night you could read poetry up there. He would love to have you here.
That would be so lovely. Well, you are so kind, Maya, to speak up my poetry like that. I'm so glad you like it.
It's so beautiful, and it moves me, and you're always so nice to me.
I do try my best. You are such a kind person and so very interesting and knowledgeable.
Everyone else roll me a witness plus awareness.
I'm just going to leave this pile of 6 dice right where I have it, because that seems to be what I'm rolling.
I would like to state that as soon as she kind of swoops over to the bar, and if Ada follows her, I'm not doing that. I'm trying to see if I can find the mystery blonde, or kind of just making my way through the crowd of people to see if I can.
I am so busy daunted up to try to look intimidating. I'm not paying attention to anything. I have 1 success.
Okay.
0.
You're muted again. 4.
Sorry, 4. Yeah, 4, but I'm not going to stay here and have a conversation with him. I'm going to get something out of my bag and leave it to 5 for me.
Okay. You do notice that the whole time Maya is talking to Aramanus, Bishop is just kind of like drinking it in, and he's smiling the whole time.
Okay, so he's totally not paying attention to the rest of us.
Nope.
Fantastic.
I'm happy to be a distraction, though that's not what I'm intentionally doing.
All right. So I am going to basically work my way kind of at the edge of the bar, back in a dark corner, so I can take something out of my bag.
Okay. I will get to you in a minute, Lydia.
You go. Oh, you can
And
go ahead
just
and
so
go
you
to
know-
Lydia while
Okay.
I'm figuring out my die.
And just to remind you, in case anything pops up, I'm actually got unswayable mind.
Okay.
Just in case, because, I know how these ministry types could be.
So, Lydia, you see a number of blonde females that fit the description that you heard from Natasha.
Okay. Ooh.
And this being Savannah and a nightclub, where the proportion to male to female is just more male than female, just like most places, like it's really hard to gauge that if any of these. There's 3 blonde women that fit that description, and they're just dudes just up in the club dancing, trying to get as close as they can, because it's a pretty female.
Check him for breathing. Check him for sweat.
Right.
If you're not sweating on the dance floor, you're definitely Kindred.
Right.
Yeah.
So, out of curiosity, correct me if I'm mistaken, but when Natasha was talking about Jamie, did she say that, like, essentially he could not pull away from the blonde, like he was just kind of entranced?
Yeah, it seemed like he was he just lost all interest in Natasha, and was just totally infatuated with this blonde.
I would like to try to not employ, but see if I can get. You said there's three of them, three separate gentlemen to go and talk to each one, and then come back to me.
And how are you going to do that?
I'm just gonna ask them. I'm gonna be kind and sweet and nice.
Okay. So you see kind of this muscular guy. He's pretty tall. He's about 5'8". Looks like he probably lifts weights. And he's definitely like checking out one of these blondes that you think might be who you're looking for. And he kind of catches you like looking at him. He's gonna walk over, like, "Sup? I'll buy you a drink."
Actually, I would much rather it if you offered her a drink, if you don't mind.
Oh, she's like hot, but she's like not your hot. Oh wait. Oh. You, oh, okay. Hey, yeah. If you want me to take her a drink, yeah, like anything to help you out. You know, you got any like single friends?
Maybe we'll discuss that later. If you would just kindly go over there, give her a drink, and then you can come back to me.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So he orders a drink. He orders some like horrible whiskey. He like takes
I give
it over to
no
her.
care whatsoever. Just take it to her. See if you can come back.
He like hands her the drink and she like looks at it. She like throws it in his face.
Well then, not that one. Next.
That's funny.
You see a guy. He's in baggy pants, kind of sagging, a tank top, a white tank top, baseball cap, and again, it's another white guy. And he kind of notices he's like, he's moving toward with the music. Like, "Sup? Are you like one of those goth chicks?"
Yes, we'll go with that. Could you do me a favor, darling? And would you kindly take a drink? Probably something fruity, if I'm going to guess. And take it to that lovely lady over there, and then come back to me.
Why do you want me to take her a drink?
Why not?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Do you
Oh,
want me to
come
tell her
on,
anything?
just humor me.
Do you want me to tell her something for you? I mean, is that like your thing?
Will I see this?
Not at all.
Yes.
I was gonna say, am I close enough to see this? Because
I'm gonna walk over.
I'll let Marvello go.
I'm gonna walk over. I still have all up, and I'm just gonna like. It seems like you're having trouble, dear.
And of course, I'm following Marvello still with Daunt up.
So still
so
daunted.
this dude is like torn between daunt and awe.
And I do have.
But he's fixed on Lydia.
I did pick the ugly background, so I'm hideously ugly, looking scary
He's
as hell.
afraid, but strangely
And I have
aroused.
yo, like call your boys off. I'll take the drink over. All right, hey, can I get like a slushy margarita? What, something fruity?
Yes.
He takes it over.
Do strike up a conversation with her, and then, give it about a minute or two, and then come back to me. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, she's been ignoring me all night, so.
Well, we'll see how it goes now.
So he goes over and he like offers her a drink, and she takes it and she kind of drinks it, and they're like talking. And then he's like, "All right, well, I gotta go." And he turns around, and she like sees him walking towards you, and she throws the glass at him, and it like catches him in the back of the head.
Oh.
That one's got some fire.
Oh dear.
The third one, you see this really nice, tall African American guy. He looks like he's probably in the military. It looks like he works out. Just his whole mannerism, and he's just out there having a good time. And he's checking out the third blonde girl, and you can tell he's definitely like vibing her.
I'm gonna walk over to him and I'm gonna say, darling, you should really take her a drink and talk to her.
You really think so?
I absolutely think so. And
I don't know. I think she's like way out of my league.
You never know until you try. From what I've been told of these sorts of things, and once you've talked to her, I would say don't linger too terribly long. That becomes clingy, from what I'm to understand of these situations. Come back to me. They love it when you make them jealous.
You don't like think she'll like get jealous if I like take her a drink and talk to her for a few minutes and then I come back and I mean you're a really attractive lady, but I'm just not into the goth scene. I'm in Hunter R. Airfield and
Oh well, no. You see, if you're not supposed to make them seem like you're too interested. Make it seem like there are other options for you. That's what you do.
Oh, so you're like playing my wingman.
Quillian leans down to
Marvello.
Marvello.
Yes, exactly.
Quillian leans down to Marvello and just whispers to him, "When you're ready to move in, we can do it again."
So he gets a drink and he goes over and he picks a nice he picks a decent drink. I think he gets her like a margarita. He takes it over and they're like talking, and she actually gives him her phone number.
Ooh.
And then he comes back. He's like, he like walks by. He's like, I don't really think it's a good idea if I like come sit next to you and talk to you because like she just gave me her number.
Good for you, darling. Look at you. See, I helped you. You owe me now. And at that, I'm going to turn and walk away.
Ada, what were you doing?
I was rolling Awaken the Homuncular Servant.
Okay, let me pull that up.
Yep. I rolled Resolve in Oblivion.
Okay.
And basically, it allows me to use either like a skull or body part or a small dead animal, which I do have a certain body part in formaldehyde in my bag.
Okay.
It's Stuart's tongue.
I know you were going to say that.
I knew it.
I feel like I knew that on some level, and
Yes.
yet you said it, and I was like,
how apropos.
Okay, what are you going to have it do?
I am going to have it, and I got 7 with a crit, so
Okay.
it's actually good for up to 7 nights, and it works instantly to awaken it.
Okay.
It basically what it's going to do, I'm going to instruct it to go from the corner that I'm standing in and basically find itself a nice little hidey hole in the bar, like on a shelf in the very back corner where they aren't going to find it, and listen to Bishop.
I get this picture of a tongue slinking.
It can actually move.
Oh my god, this is
a
great.
tongue like an inchworm crawling around the
but it's
bar.
like it's small because it's just a piece,
We're going to say Stuart Slinky just kind of slinks off into the corner and does what you told him to do.
It's like an inchworm.
And it's going to basically transmit to me data. Yeah,
Okay.
the intel. And then I'll basically, once I do that, I close up my bag. I assume there was like a restroom or something. I assume I'm looking like I'm coming back from the restroom, and I walk up to Bishop, and I'm basically walking up to Bishop, and here, if we can, I'd like to take a break.
Ada, it's so lovely to see you, darling. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Bishop. How are you?
Oh, business is booming. Things are good. I can't complain. Since Prince Lonnon allowed me to open my club here, I wasn't gonna make anything under my sire in Chicago, so I might as well, come here.
Indeed. Well, it is a lovely establishment. I do enjoy myself anytime I'm here. The problem is the prince has asked me to look into some concerning events in the city.
Yeah, these 2 guys in a suit.
They came by as well?
Yeah, Joseph's really nice. The smiley guy kind of nerved me.
What was his name?
He didn't give a name.
Interesting.
Actually, no, I take that back. Joseph is Mr. Black. I just know Joseph from a while back.
Okay.
And Mr. Red.
Really? Black and red? Really?
Yeah, he wasn't the original Mr. Red. The original Mr. Red bought it.
Okay. Got you.
Now I'm waiting for Mr.
Got
Pink.
you. Yeah. I mean, really. Okay. So when did they come by? Was it shortly after the last disappearance?
The last few days. Joseph come by. He had some business. He's hell bent on finding someone. And
Do you know of any particular? Well, I look around to see if we are in mixed company here, and do I see any what seem to be kind right around his area?
Uh, give me
Is
a
he
wits
still
plus
standing
awareness.
there with me and Maya? Because Maya's kind. If
Oh,
they're still
really?
Yeah,
standing there.
yeah, Maya's there.
Oh, okay. So I'm sure I would be aware of that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
oh yeah.
And
yeah.
I, and
Oh,
I,
yeah.
and I lean over and whisper in his ear, "There's a blonde Kindred messing around with neonates in your club. Who is it?"
Really?
Yeah.
I had to go back to Chicago to talk to Shepard about
Oh.
getting my own franchise.
So you've been gone for a few weeks.
I've been gone for a few weeks. Charles hasn't brought anything up to me. But I assume that's why Joseph was here. And I think this is where we're going to take a break. So
Okay.
everybody can take a 5-10 minute break.
10 minutes.
10-minute break.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Cool.
We'll be back.
Time
We'll
for
be
a
back.
restroom,
Cheers,
get a
loves.
drink, stretch your legs. You know, all the good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Grab a
absolutely.
snack.
Grab
I'm
a
going to go
snack.
feast on random people in the bar. Just a little snack.
Just a little.
Actually, I
Just
can
a-
only eat drink from MMA fighters, so I got to find an MMA fighter to drink.
Oh,
Oh.
Let me make
That
sure
could be
Charles takes
difficult.
us for a break before we
That's
get
my
out.
Ventru's taste.
Are you
I like
hungry?
fighters.
Oh
Nah,
dear.
Nah, I'm not hungry. I'm good.
Just wanna.
I know we're not on break. I'm just waiting for it to go on break. We don't want to leave empty air noise while we're waiting on break to start. So we're going to talk it up while we're waiting to go on break.
Yeah.
So I'm just while we're waiting on Sean to take us to break. I'm loving it. You guys are doing amazing. I'm having a blast. I hope you
this
are
is
too.
great.
Absolutely.
I'm having
Been
a
having
great
a
time.
blast.
I
I'm so
love
nervous.
Marvello. I'm telling you, Quillian has taken a liking to Marvello because
I adore
it's-
Marvello. Marvello
yeah,
is
it's-
fantastic.
it's not
Marvello is
only his
amazing.
Frown out
the way
of my.
Marvello rolls, but it's the double working with him because all's up and here comes Daunt rolling up behind that.
I
mean,
Yeah, I
pulled,
was like trying to figure out how to role play that. It's like, how do I do this?
I
like,
pulled
he's
my
scared, but he
phone
wants
out of
to
my
stay.
crown. I have business cards in my crown, and I have my phone. Like, perfect.
Oh, I love the crown, the phone coming out of the crown, the
It's
majestic
like
phone.